The Texans are now 0-2 after falling 20-19 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Texans are not in a good situation at the moment. This offense is absolute doo-doo. CJ Stroud, I don't know how good he is. He's not an elite quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a tweener. He's at the stage of his career where we're in the assessment period. We're in the recalibration period with CJ Stroud right now because he balled out his rookie season. He immediately came into the game and looked like he cemented his status as an elite quarterback. But a few years later, he hasn't been able to match or even exceed what he did in his first year. If anything, he's regressed. Year 2, we gave him a pass. Offensive coordinator wasn't good. Offensive line was trash. Cool. Now, though, you got a new offensive coordinator who people in the Texans organization seem to be really high on. The offensive line is still bad, but it's a tad bit better than what it was last season. CJ Stroud, when you hear the name, you think elite quarterback. But if you watch a lot of these Texans games, CJ Stroud, he's missing easy throws. He gets a little bit skittish at times when you get a few hits on him. You give CJ Stroud grace because of what he did during his rookie season. But if you assess CJ Stroud for what he's been the past 2 years, he hasn't been an elite quarterback. Elite quarterbacks are supposed to elevate their team. Joe Burrow can't overcome having a bad offensive line unless he gets some injured. CJ Stroud can't elevate the Texans to the certain extent that the elite quarterbacks like Lamar, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Mahomes can elevate their teams. CJ Stroud is an average quarterback. And nobody wants to admit it, but that's how he has played these last couple of years. You disagree that he's an average quarterback because of the name, because of the favorability that he built up with you with how he was an MVP candidate for the majority of his rookie season. But what have you looked like lately? CJ Stroud has been a top 15-ish quarterback. Still very good, but not somebody to anoint as the chosen one like we all were doing a few years ago. He's only as good as his situation. Elite quarterbacks elevate the situation. They make the situation a lot better than what it is. And CJ Stroud, he's a tweener. Well, CJ Stroud had a better offensive line. If CJ Stroud had a better wide receiver core, he would look a lot better. And you just exactly proved my point. If a guy needs this and a guy needs that, he's not an elite quarterback. Elite quarterbacks, Andrew Luck, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, these guys were winning, having deep playoff runs with randoms on their teams. Cam Newton won MVP with his best receiver being Ted Ginn. So for as much as we have built up CJ Stroud, we got to be accountable and talk about CJ Stroud's inconsistent play and lack of growth and rapid regression. Nobody wants to talk about it because he's super likable, and I love CJ Stroud, one of my favorite players. I've been going to war for CJ Stroud since his last 2 games at Ohio State. After he lost to Michigan, they were questioning his toughness. He doesn't want to run the football. Oh, he's not cut out to be an NFL QB. Well, he's running a lot more in the league than what he ever did in college, and he's a lot better in the NFL than what he was in college to me. But right now, he just hasn't taken that next step. And I'm not saying that CJ Stroud is a bad quarterback, but he's an average quarterback right now. That's how he's looked in Houston. And you can make all the excuses in the world, but with the kind of situation that the Texans have put CJ Stroud in, it's not unconducive to him not being able to look like Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has been through 3 different head coaches his first 5-6 years in the league and has still produced top 10 level production. Do you not know how rare that is for a quarterback to do? Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, Daniel Jones, all quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round that were bust because they had to overcome several different head coaches. When you have several different staff changes, it hinders your development. History supports that. So there's no reason why Justin Herbert should be as good as what he is. And CJ Stroud not being able to look somewhat like that. Herbert is just like a machine out there. CJ Stroud is kind of like, he can be a robot at times, but he's not that killer machine that Herbert is in certain moments. And yeah, he beat him in the playoffs, but Houston was a better team. Herbert overall, these last 2 years has been better than CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, he just doesn't look like the same quarterback that we imagined him being after year 1. And nobody wants to bring it up.